competitive without including food and water production in Kibosh 2002. Advanced studies made thus far on thermal cycle and heat exchangers have promising results of far improved efficiency of the OTEC system as a whole. The power consumption of popular cold and warm seawater can be lowered to 30-40% of the conventional case. Considering all the new achievements, we can easily predict the latest OTEC technology will produce twice as much net power from the same heat source as the conventional OTEC. In the reduction in cold depth water quality with an advanced condenser provides smaller size configuration of piping for DOW riser piping, and thus the economical preference is much improved. It has been determined that for a large plant of 50 to 100 megawatts, the unit cost would be competitive with a coal-fired power station. However, OTEC is valuable not only in power generating, but in additional activities. Applying 2 to 3 day mineral water production facility with OTEC, for example, total amount of mineral water output is estimated at approximately 60 million per year. Next is cost competitive, 5 reasons, Avery 1994. Design studies supported by research and development testing show that commercial production of OTEC will be cost competitive. OTEC involves no cost for fuel or for its preparation or storage. The low pressures and temperatures of OTEC cycle permit major reduction in the components cost. 3. OTEC reliability of operation and freedom from maintenance will be comparable to commercial refrigeration systems, which typically operate continuously for many years without shutdown. 4. OTEC operation will be safe environmentally, basing freeze OTEC from the taxes and delays imposed on conventional power plants. 5. Construction will employ facilities, procedures, and components that are standard in marine construction. Construction time will take 2.5 to 3 years, rather than the 6 to 10 years of a typical coal power plant. Next, and this is addressing their evidence that said OTEC is not feasible. Feasibility concerns have been resolved. Marty, Laboy, and Ruse 2010. Tech feasibility, the nearly 80 years of studies and design since Clark's first attempt to demonstrate OTEC technology in Cuba in 1930, and the investment of more than $50 in R&D and engineering during the mid-1970s to early 1990s in the United States alone have provided significant data to build commercial-scale OTEC plants. At the present time, given the proper economic conditions on the right markets, in 1980, a report prepared by the RAND Corp. Santa Monica, California, for the U.S. Department of Energy found the power system and platforms required for OTEC plants within the state of the art. Subsequent work, such as designs developed by APL in 1980 and GE in 1983, addressed other issues like the cold wire pipe and the cable used to transport electricity to shore. Substantial addition programs have occurred since then. For example, submarine cables capable of serving the needs of OTEC plants have been submarine capable of serving the needs for OTEC plants have been developed and are used for other applications. Techniques for fabricating and installing larger diameter pipes and immersed tube developed for other applications such as offshore oil, ocean outfalls, and channel crossings are adaptable to OTEC. Next, comprehensive studies have determined it's feasible. Avery 1994. After the initial evaluations, attention was directed in the U.S. program into the technical areas of any expansion before a firm judgment could be made about OTEC feasibility. All these questions were addressed and answered with positive results in the research development programs conducted before funding was terminated. The initial OTEC research and development program was organized to develop a technology base that is significantly related to OTEC, from which answers to the critical questions would be expected to emerge. Research programs were established with the general program direction listed in Table 1-3. Okay, so what my opponents were saying is OTEC won't work because we won't be able to set the regulatory standards. But if we manage to put a pilot plant in place, my evidence shows that we will be able to set regulatory standards. Plus, if you look at the evidence from the 1AC, I believe that is Meyer, Cooper, and Barley 2011. It explains why we need those pilot plants. Next, going back to that. Next on warming. Warming causes mass extinction. Also, with warming, the feasibility concerns of warming have been addressed, as our evidence points out. Our evidence points out why OTEC will solve for warming. Now I'm just extending how warming will kill us all. Limit 2:15:13. 70% of all living species disappeared in the episode of abrupt climate change. Now many scientists believe another mass extinction is underway. A combination of pollution, habitat destruction, and global warming for greenhouse gas emissions have already driven the species extinction rate well above normal, and there's every reason to believe it will continue to skyrocket. We're going to start to overwhelm them and the other effects during the coming century and beyond. Unlike the extinction that wiped out the dinosaurs, this one will result from rising temperatures. Next, warming will outpace species adaptation. Mercer 4:22:13. Earth's regional climate zones will shift more quickly in response to warming as the globe grows hotter in coming decades. This is likely to make it harder for species to cope, raising the risk of extinction. These changes are happening faster and faster. It means the ecosystem will have less and less time to adapt. It says Malstein, postdoctoral researcher at Cooperative Institute for Research and Environmental Science at the University of Colorado Boulder. Mark the card there. Now going on to the topicality. Counter definition: development includes research, utilization, and conservation. U.S. Code 9. For the purpose of the title, the term development of marine resources means scientific endeavors relating to the marine environment, including but not limited to the fields oriented for the development, conservation, or economic utilization of the physical, chemical, geological, and biological resources of the marine environment. Fields of marine, commercial marine engineering. The fields relating to exploration or research in, the recovery of natural resources from, and the transmission of energy in the marine environment. The fields of oceanography and oceanology, and the fields with respect to, say, the economic, legal, medical, or sociological problems arising out of management, use, development, covering the control of natural resources of the marine environment. Now, we go by this counter definition. We are developing the marine north. We are developing the ocean by developing the marine resources, which is the resource we are developing. Is temperature also in it? We are taking in CO2 gases, making it so that we're developing it through the environment. So we're fitting our definition in two ways. Thus, this is not a violation of T, so do not listen to their T argument. Now on to scarcity. My opponent stated that that water shortages are not primary global conflicts. They are wrong. Also, our evidence is more recent. That's why you should prefer ours. Water shortages are primary global conflicts causing instability, terrorism, food shortages, and water wars. Goldberg, 2014. Water is increasingly in short supply because of growing demand for agriculture, energy production. Already a billion people lack access to safe drinking water. Groundwater depletion is happening at a very rapid rate, and major aquifers in the arid parts of the world, the Middle East, North Africa, and South Asia, are all projected to experience water shortages. Water and crops, cooling power plants, fracking oil, gas wells all take water from the same diminishing supply. Parts of Turkey, Syria, Iraq, and Iran lost 144 cubic kilometers of stored fresh water, about the same amount of water in the Dead Sea. In South Asia, loss of groundwater, 75% rely on pumped groundwater. The U.S. security establishment is already warning of potential conflicts, including terror attacks over water. Shortages could threaten food production and energy supply and put additional stress on the government struggling with poverty and social tensions. The Pacific Institute found a fourfold increase in violent confrontations over water in the last decade. The risk of conflicts over water is growing. There are dozens of potential flashpoints in the Middle East. A war over water and energy could even be bloodier than the Arab Spring. Next, sorry, mark the card there. Now on to the trade-off they said. Catch Don't Kill program. NASA will find a way to fund everything. Bangladesh 11. NASA has found several atomic bomb only science has been at stake. NASA has been operating much under less and less money, even as relative budget has shrank. NASA has found ways to probe the mysteries of the cosmos.
No problem being here for cross-ex.